So many people talk to me all the time about, but I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel stuck. Other people say, I don't feel like I'm moving forward. I don't feel like I'm doing anything different. And I'm here to tell you that the truth of the matter is, according to the law of vibration, everything is in motion. And we as people must evolve or we will perish and be left behind. Today, your strategic partners are going to be sharing with you directly from their personal experiences, their opportunities, how they've grown day in and day out. And I can promise you, it'll be a show you're not going to want to miss. This is your strategic partner show. Let's go, baby.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. Oh, baby, I just can't give up. I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Oh, yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Only if you know, I'm talking about the low vibration and moving today. Gosh, I have been moving a lot for almost 2.5 weeks now, and it still continues. But the show is going on, and I got with me the one you love to love, the beautiful, awesome, incredible CEO of Dreamable herself, Elizabeth Cousins. What's up, Rockstar? How you doing today?
Hey, everyone. I'm doing awesome.
Right on.
Here.
Love it, love it, love it. And of course, we have all the way from North Carolina, the one you love to love, and he motivates you, he inspires you, he brings the heat, the one and only Takoya Carlton. What's up, boss?
What's up, champ? Hey, feeling super fantastic, sir. Just incredible, awesome to be here. Just took a quick little tour of your home. Just well deserved, man. With all the hard work, the labor that you put in for the last 13 years in business has accumulated to that. And so again, congratulations to you and the family, sir. And we pass it on back to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, brother. And of course, the wisdom, the knowledge, the experience, the one you love to talk to and tell her everything that is in your heart. Debbie Baltoa Salmons, what's up, Rockstar? How is it going?
Oh man, it's going fantastic. And yes, thank you for that tour, and well deserved. And you know, it's just so exciting to see people doing what they love, doing what they're passionate about, being consistent at it, and serving others, and then receiving their blessings and rewards. And so I'm so excited, so grateful to be here, and so proud of each and every one of you, and Ali and your wife and family as well.
You are far too kind. Well, let's talk about today's talk. Let's talk about today's topic. We said, you know, movement is inevitable. Evolvement is inevitable. And the reality is a lot of people think they're stuck, but I'm here to tell you it's impossible to be stuck, feel stuck. I've learned it over the years. I'm not going to say I've mastered it yet, but I definitely advanced on it. By the way, tonight, for those of you who are part of our community, the 12 universal laws is, if it hasn't already, it's dropping any minute right now. We've had some edits within the last hour taking place, and yeah, it immerses on it, and it's going to give you all you need to know: $1.50 a day. All right, but so Debbie, Takoya, and Elizabeth, all four of us have definitely been in circumstances where we had to let go of certain things. We had to literally, physically, emotionally, spiritually move on, and accept the idea of, I gotta keep it going. I gotta keep it moving. I'm not gonna go backwards. So if we can just elaborate from your own experiences a little bit on the fact that A, nothing is permanent, and B, everything is already in motion. So why don't we start with you, Debbie?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I love when you say, you know, because saying that we're stuck is just one of those words that lots of us use, and we don't really think about what that means. But you're correct. The truth is we're never stuck because the earth is spinning, right? There's always motion. So we're not literally stuck. But what we actually may get stuck in is our patterns, right? We get stuck in our patterns of thinking, our patterns of communicating, our patterns of doing things, right? And so what it really means to me when you say stuck is that something that was working previously is not working in the current situation, right? And there can be a million reasons for that. And I think that, you know, and you guys can you know, differ with me on this, but I think that we look at being stuck as a negative situation, right? And, you know, again, since it's not really real, we're not actually stuck. It's not a negative either. It's just something we have to become aware of, that perhaps we're on that hamster wheel, or we're doing the same thing over and over, right? I'm involved with a group of people that talks about the definition of insanity, and that's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? So I think we can just get on more of a hamster wheel, and we have to, you know, take a look at things and go, whoa, maybe this isn't working. And sometimes we just get caught in the flow, right? And it takes something to push us out of the flow, to wake us up, to take a look, you know. So turn it back to you. Hear what you guys have to say on that too.
Sequoia, what you thinking, my man?
Yeah, I mean, this young, who was that? Jana said it. She said it best. She said, "I'm on that hamster wheel." And so, if you really want to break it down, that's really what it is for most of us. Like, we just keep spinning our wheels. And so, for me, I know that just going through life, I've had a lot of challenges in my lifetime. I'm, you know, 50 years old, and you know, I had a lot of those things in my life where it just seems like.
Did you say 53 years old?
50, right?
There's no way.
50. Yeah,
there's no way. You're younger than that.
I know.
Young man. You guys are all young.
You know what it is?
But,
I've known him for a while without a beard. And I'm thinking like that beard is just so he can, you know, really, really like, hey, this right here is wisdom. But when you say 50, like there's no, okay, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
I had a Kevin Hart moment in there. I'm like, bang.
Yeah. So the whole thing is this, man. We go through so many things, and as you know, my young friend here said, we think we're stuck. We're really not. And I can't tell you how many times I have conversations with people, and you know, everybody's giving you this woe is me, and they're giving you the story, right? And it's the story that's keeping them there. I mean, I've had several conversations with you, Ali, where I'm giving you the story, right? And the story is exactly what's keeping me where I'm at. Because again, if you keep perpetuating the story, right, it becomes reality. And that's why you start feeling that you're stuck, is that you keep on perpetuating the story that you're going through, right? All the negatives. They didn't give me the promotion. I'm not able to get a full-time job. I can't find any, you know, good work. Or we keep talking this stuff that's keeping us right where we are. And so again, guys, how do you fix that thing? Here's what I've learned over the years, right? I've learned that, again, Ali said it, and that's something I say to myself, and I tell every person I have a conversation with, is that it's temporary. One of my mentors, Mr. William Crawley, way back in the day, early 2000s, when I got in the career of home-based business, he used to always say this. He used to say, you know what? You're either going into a storm, right? You're going through a storm, but eventually you always come out the storm. And see, that's the thing that most people don't understand, is that at some point, you're going to come out the storm. And in fact, you'll look back and you'll say, hey, listen, it wasn't everything that I thought it was. It's that fear, false evidence appearing real. That's really what that stuff is, right? False evidence appearing real. We've heard that a million different times, but that's what we look at as fear, right? The things that are going on in our life and perpetuating all this stuff. And it's really us projecting what we think or feel in that situation, not understanding if we just change the way we think, everything else will change automatically. It won't change overnight because it takes time for you to feed yourself. And so that's the one thing that I get out of it. And over the years, I just understand that everything is temporary. I never buy into that whole thing where it's always going to be this way. It always happens to me. It's temporary. And if it's temporary, that means things will change. They will get better. They could get worse, right? But if you have the faith, right, that things will change and you start speaking it into existence, then eventually it will. So that's my whole thing. And I send it back over to our partner, Elizabeth Cousins.
Elizabeth, what you got?
Will get better. They could get worse, right?
Muted.
Hey, I totally agree with both of you. I'd like to know from the audience, what is it that makes you feel stuck? Because one way that to actually quote unquote get unstuck is to do the very thing that you fear. For me, I recently, about 2 weekends ago, I actually went on stage, something I never did before, and spoke. I entered the speech competition, and I did it for a wrong experience. So I want to know from you all what keeps you quote unquote stuck, and maybe we'll talk about it. So tell us in the chat.
That's a great question, actually, that you're bringing to light, Elizabeth. And you know, I'll tell you this: I believe that I'm very level-headed. I work on myself a lot. Most people, you know, they question, like, you know, do you ever turn it off, Ali? You know, do you ever stop? Do you ever, like, you know, have a moment where you're not all happy, right? And the truth of the matter is, no, I am a robot. I am programmed this way. No, I'm kidding. I do have moments where I too get frustrated, and I too feel like I can't get myself out of this thought. You know, my wife and I love to watch movies. Like, we stream movies over the weekend. Like, that's our thing. You know, like, we're homebodies. We love to stay home. We love to watch movies. And last week we watched Doctor Strange, and if you've watched it and you want, it gets like really, really like crazy. You know, demons and spirits, and you know, I mean, it goes real. Like, even the guys that are, you know, he's going against, they're called the Illuminati. I mean, they don't even hide it anymore. The third eye. I mean, it was deep. And at first I was like, you know, my faith is in the right place. I can handle this. And man, the nightmares that I've had for 3 days straight, and then I'll be driving, and I'm you know, my mind just wanders and goes to places, and I'll start screaming like, stop, you know, and I'm like, why am I just so stuck in that one scene over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? And I realized it was my input, right? I took 2.5 hours, a movie that long, that was filled with demons and spirits and, you know, and third eye, and go crossing from dimension to dimension, and, you know, the dead and the living, and I invested that in my mind, as silly as that may be to some. Like, dude, you're talking about a movie. Yeah, I'm talking about a movie. And if you don't believe me, there's a reason you get scared when you're watching a movie. You know it's an actor and it's fake. There's a reason you cry when you're watching that movie. You know it's an actor and they're faking it. You like, that's why they get paid a lot, because they know the magic of embedding those ideas in our heads. So if you feel stuck, my very first question to you is, what are you inputting in your head? You know, what are you watching? Who are you listening to? Who are you talking to? Who is putting the limitations? You know, Debbie, we talked about my real estate deal, and 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, it was just you and I, and we were talking about if you're in my team and you're not rooting for me to win, you don't belong in my team. In other words, you know, and Will Smith talks about that in his book, Muhammad Ali. He was notorious for that. You know, if you're gonna be in my corner, you better be like, we're going to win this. And I'm okay with that. A couple of weeks ago, you know, the loan officer that we have, just because I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm not going through the regular W-2 and, you know, those loans, like 48 hours, you can get approved and you're done. Me, I had to like get my statements and my P&L and my, my expenses and I mean, heavy, hardcore stuff. And one of the team member that's in my corner, from the mortgage company, is like, well, at this point it's out of our hand. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we submitted everything. We just have to wait. I'm like, well, I need you to give me a little bit more than that. Well, I can't guarantee you anything on time. It may take us 30 to 45 days. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what do we have to do to get it done in 2 weeks? Like, I don't understand. Well, because it's out of my control. It's a third-party investor and whatnot. So, and then he calls me out of nowhere, like 2 days or 3 days later. Then that week, listen to this. You talk about embedding the wrong stuff in your head. Hey man, how you doing? What's up? What's going on? I just want to let you know that one of our two major investors, they invest $2 billion in our mortgage office. They just pulled out. So here's my question, right? Okay, so what does that mean for our mortgage? Oh, nothing. It doesn't impact you. I'm just giving you a heads up. Heads up for what? Well, 2008 may happen all over again. Really? Yeah. What does that mean for my mortgage? Oh, nothing. It doesn't impact you. Now, my wife is sitting next to me and Sebastian is playing soccer. So I did one of these. I go way all the way to the other side. I was like, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. I have to walk away. Just 1 minute. Don't hang up. I went all the way in the and I go, let me get this straight. You call me on a Thursday evening to tell me that you lost a $2 billion investor that has nothing to do with me. And to tell me that there is a potential housing crash that has nothing to do with me. Yeah. Why? Well, I just want to give you a heads up and set up the right expectations. Expectations for what? Well, in case another investor pulls out, if the other investor pulls out, what does that mean for me? Oh, we still have options. Then why in the world are you calling me? that part, everybody heard it. Yeah.
Drawing in the unnecessary.
So I call, as you know, Jordan. I'm like, hey, man, listen, we need to talk, dude. Like, he goes like, well, I'm like, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but you know me. He goes like, yeah, just talk to me. So I tell him straight up what happens. I'm like, Jordan, if you're going to be in my corner and I'm boxing, it's okay. Tell me you're going to get punched. There's a possibility you're going to get knocked down. I just don't want you to tell me we may lose this fight. Because if you are playing for a tie or a minimal defeat, you should not be in my corner because you're embedding the wrong limited beliefs. If you're in my corner, even if you may know, man, Ali's about to fight this guy who's twice as big, and I don't know, I want you to look at me and like, you got this, champ. And then when I go and I'm not looking at you, you can pray and say whatever you say and say, please, God, let this just be 2 rounds. Just let them last 2 rounds. I'm okay with that. But I need you to pump confidence into me, right? And fortunately, and this is, again, the way I see it, the people around us, the things we watch, the things we eat, just the things that we put in our body, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, it creates those limited beliefs to think I'm stuck. But as you said, Debbie, it's impossible to be stuck. It literally is physically impossible. I challenge you, physically try to be stuck, try to freeze, right? Like I challenge you, your body, your heartbeat, your bloodstreams, the universe, everything is in motion. So when you say I am stuck, and I'll tell you, no, here's the thing. You just need to adjust your belief system. You just need to adjust your ideals, your ideas, yada, yada, yada. And you're like, no, Ali, but you don't understand. Here's what I hear. No, Ali, I'm an ignorant to this thing called life. Ignorance is not a bad thing. Ignorance just means you're not aware. It doesn't mean you're stupid or dumb.
You know what you don't know.
So exactly. Increase your level of awareness and understand that you have every potential possibilities, gifts, assets to unstuck yourself. Let me play in your world for a second from whatever it is that you're doing. And I can prove it to you over and over and over and over. I cannot wait when the 4 of us has our first seminars. I have so many stories of things that, I mean, up to the minute, everybody said it's impossible. And I said, watch me. Yep. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm like, no. You don't understand who you're talking to. I had a guy who's like, oh, it's I'm not actually the same guy. I'm just telling you, it's all in the arms of the ether. And I said, I am the ether. I just need you to do your job, bro. I move mountains. Like, let's go. And listen, that's my faith. God's promise to us, if you have a faith as a size of a seed, of a mustard seed, you could tell that mountain move and it will move. The problem is most people don't understand their own potential and the power from within.
Right.
I believe in us as people.
Totally. I absolutely concur with all of that. I love that word, Takoyo. But I'm going to tell you guys, I am 59 years and 4 months old.
Stop it.
Okay? So I got a little time and a little life experience under my belt. And I want to tell you one of the things that I personally have noticed and figured out in my life. Life seems to go, for me anyway, in evaluating in about 4-year cycles, 4 to 5 year cycles. And so I'm going to use that as when I became a mom, right? I have my kids, they're babies, and it takes about 4 years before you're getting them into school, right? So you've got to live one way, and they're fully dependent on you. So you're living a certain way. At age 4 or 5-ish, they go off to preschool, their first set of elementary school. Now you're dealing with a different phase of life during that period. Then in another 4 years, 5 years, they're going to junior high, all the way up, high school, college, right? Well, here's the thing. If we're treating our junior high children, like we taught our elementary school, we're going to get stuck, right? Because the same methods don't work as you cycle through life, right? Everything in life has a season. Everything has a season. People are in your life for a season, many of them, right? And in entrepreneurship, one of the things that's really important to understand, and I mean, Ali has done so much for me personally to stay in the game, is you're going to think about like what we had the industrial age, right? We went from the industrial age to the information age, right? Nothing was the same. People that made money, entrepreneurs, had to switch from that to the online platform. Now, in case you don't know it, we're moving out of that, and we're already in what they are calling the experience age, right? So in the information age, for instance, Facebook was really, really the deal, right? Now you see all these other platforms coming, which are much more experiential, right? Instagram, Snapchat, all of these things. Why do I say that? If we don't educate ourselves and grow, then we are going to feel stuck, because if we're still trying to play the game from the industrial age, it doesn't work, right? So I think that a lot of us, we get entrenched in those beliefs, maybe the way we were brought up, or, how many times have you heard people say, well, that's not how I used to do it, right? Well, no, because it's changed now, right? So I think that we get stuck in those own patterns. And again, that's the hamster wheel, and not being open to where we are. And, in August of 2022 is not where we were in August of 1985 when I opened my first business, right? So if we're not adapting and growing, then we're going to get that feeling, right?
Right.
Are you saying I can't use the fax machine?
You what?
Are you saying I can't use the fax machine anymore?
Well, you can if you so choose. I don't have one, and I don't
ridiculous.
Remember, we had. Well, no, you guys are too young. We started with beepers. Before we had beepers. Before that, I remember my father having the box phone. Oh yeah, and let's just be honest. Now it moves at the speed of light. So we've got to be surrounded by teams and coaches and mentors, because there's a lot of stuff to wade through. And then that's where I think we can feel stuck. You guys know Takoyo and I came from the belly to belly world, right? And I think that you can adapt and do both. But if we were not branching out of the belly to belly world, we'd be left behind and stuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, real quick, before we go on, we did have a question from a user. Ali, I don't know who wants to take this. Have any of you been overwhelmed by many things that you're really good at and had to narrow it down to really be successful?
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
Have at it. Have at it.
Okay. So before I give you the answer, I just want to remind you that if you are an entrepreneur or you have any movement that you want to take to the next level, if you want to start, grow, scale a business, if you want to build a brand, if you want to get brand equity, if you want PR, you need to visit us today at iam.media, because I Am Dreamable is the platform for you to spread your wings, where you have strategic partners, you have on-demand courses, you have live group coaching sessions, and so much more to make your brand, your mission, and your business come to life. Visit us today at iam.media. I'm Dreamable, baby. All right. Now let me answer that question. So over the last 6 weeks, maybe, I even go as far as 8 weeks, I have been narrowing down a lot. Right. I have found myself in circumstances and situations where I'm really good at what I do, especially if I love it. I can create, I can make magic come to life. I love helping people. I love being with people, and I'm the kind of guy who I just won't quit. In other words, you can give me the worst movie ever and it's 5.5 hours and I will watch the whole thing just because I started it. I can't walk away from it now, even if I know exactly what's going to happen in every single scene, but I will watch it and finish it. However, it gets to a point where you have to exit yourself and take an inventory of how is this impacting the people that I'm doing this for. Right. Because we all have been in situations where, man, I'm so excited. I want this thing to happen. It's going to be the best thing ever. And you get so sucked into it that you're compromising your marriage or your relationship with your kids or whatever that it may be. Well, that was me. I was in a situation where I had this is over the last 8 weeks. I had a lot of clients that I was working with. Thank God, making money has never been an issue for me. And things were going really, really well. But I started noticing that, not that I'm falling behind, but I'm always trying to do much more than I'm already doing. And what I was doing was already consuming a good 8 hours a day. Now, I say 8 hours a day. That is direct Zooms, coaching, training. The rest, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the car with the family and your head is down and you're answering emails and you're answering messages and you're, analyzing, spreadsheets and you're analyzing marketing systems and different things of that nature. So I started doing an inventory for not what am I getting and how much more am I putting out, but how is my family taking advantage, receiving in abundance, and how much are they missing out of? And for me, boy, let me tell you, I have an amazing wife. Kids are growing up in an entrepreneurial spirit. They understand, like, not a beep right now. Like, they know, they saw me come down. That's it. Like, there's no, but please play with me. There's no cry. Even Isabel, who's not even 2 years old, once the office door opens, she just says, bye. Doesn't matter what time it is of the day. There is no hugging a leg. Like, there's just an automatic bye. So I'm blessed with that. But I could be blinded sometimes and take things for granted that I have an understanding family. So I had to trim the fat. I had to make some decisions. I had to give up retainers and give up clientele and, give up essentially a lot. And it doesn't mean giving up as a negative surrendering thing. I just had to put myself in a position that I can be happy again, because I owe each one of you right here, right now, the best version of me. How do you want me to give you the best version of me if I know for a fact my inner being was overwhelmed and a little cranky every now and then because I wasn't in the best vibration? So thank God, a lot of things have happened. Elizabeth has taken over the I Am Dreamable platform, which put me back in creative mode instead of operation mode. I exited a role that I had as a consultant and a potential VP of sales for a company that I'm forever going to be grateful for. But I just felt like I wasn't necessarily in the place that I can give a lot of my value to the best of my ability. So I decided to step away from it as well. My wife wanted this house so bad, and I'm like slow and ongoing to the point where, it started to get ugly in a positive way. Let's just say that we were tolerating and helping and loving on each other. But if you really, really like say, can we have an honest talk? She would have probably said to me, I'm really not happy about what I'm seeing, because before 2019, I used to do 16 hours a day, literally. Video recording, sales development business, and I would go all day. I mean, it was nonstop. And I hated that. And I was slipping back into that. And I don't care how much money anybody can make, man. Time is the most precious asset that you have. And you take it away from your family, what's the purpose? What's the point? There's nothing.
Yep.
So I hope that answers that question.
Can I just say, I'm reading the comment. She said, so I feel being the creative mode is more where I can help people. It seems to be true. One of the things you just said, Ali, you were doing 16 hours and you hated it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's key. If you're unhappy and you don't even like what you're doing, right? You've got to reevaluate. Now, because and it's such a fine line, right? Because when you start as an entrepreneur, lots of times we're bootstrapping it. So we do have to wear every hat first, right? But I think it's really important to be honest with ourselves. And as Ali said, sorry about the dog.
I love you too, doggy. I love you too. Tell me more.
You've gotta find out where your passion and your true love and creative juices come out. It's going to get loud. I'm going to mute and turn it over to you.
We love you.
All right. So, hey, real quick, let me bring this in here. Lily put this up, and I don't want to negate her because we were already on another one. But she says, getting things done, have the will to grow and do things that are important. Everything seems to get in the way when I want to do something concerning her business. Being a widow, helping my grandsons back and forth to the doctors. And so again, I'll go ahead and jump on that real quick here. So here's the thing, guys. I know we're talking about trimming and fat, right? Narrowing it down to try to find the thing. Let me move that out the way. Here we go. All right. Me and Ollie were like, but so we're trying to narrow down these things. So good question. And as Debbie was just alluding to, is that sometimes when you're in the beginning of something, it's hard to kind of have that balance, because people always talk about, I hear this question happens no matter what forum you're in or whatever, if you're doing a talk or whatever. Well, how do you do work-life balance, right? It's hard, right? Especially in the beginning when you're trying to get traction, right? You have goals, you have ambitions, you have the things that you want to accomplish. It's a little bit easier when you're single, but for those folks who have obligations such as, family, wife, husband, kids, right? You got doctor visits, all that stuff. See, again, that's all that stuff. It's not going anywhere, right? It'll always be there. What we've got to learn as entrepreneurs, right? As moms, dads, husbands, all that stuff, right? Brothers, sisters, whatever. We've got to learn to control us. See, as an entrepreneur right now, it's hard. I want to work 16, 17, 18 hours a day. I want to. It's in me. I want to do it. And it doesn't bother me at all. But I know it affects other people, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that, hey, listen, I have all these other things that I have to take care of. And those are necessary things. These are things that I can't stop, from doing. I have to go to the hospital. I got to make sure I'm in great health. I got appointments. I got to go to those. I got grandkids who are my responsibilities now, who are left to me in my charge to take care of. So now I have to go out and say, you know what? I've got these appointments. See, everything with appointments, we already know those are known points. In the military, we call them known points. These are things that we already know. So we were trying to navigate through the jungle. We know that, hey, there's a tower over there. That's a known point. So we can take that known point and do a back assignment to us, and we can find out where we are. right? Because that's a known point that we know that's going to be there. So that appointments that you have, those are known points. That means you can put those known points into what we call a calendar, right? We talk about the grandkids, right? We know we got to take care of the grandkids, all that stuff they want. They want to play football, they want to play basketball, they want to be fed, right? All that stuff. We've got to learn to put it into a calendar. And I know it seems crazy because most of us are living our lives on Kentucky windage, right? Kentucky windage means we're just shooting everywhere, right? Hoping we hit something. Well, once we get organized and we say, you know what? I've got these known points, meaning appointments. They're already in my planner. So I know that this time to this time, I'm on lockdown. And then, of course, we know that we're traveling somewhere. And, of course, in these new fancy cars now, they have what we call those Bluetooth phones. So that way you can concentrate on driving and still conducting business. So now we just have to change the way that we conduct business, meaning, hey, listen, if I got all these things going on, I got to find a way to still keep the main thing, which is growing the business, hitting the goals, doing the things that I said I wanted to do long after the feeling I said it in has left me. I've got to go do these things. And so again, here's the thing, guys. We got to start using planners, right? Calendars. I don't know if some people are still using the old school. I still do the old school. I still have a planner, right? Some people are using their phone. Whatever's best for you. My dad, oh my God, he's like a robot. He's like another Ali, right? My dad has everything on beep. Like I'm at his house. I'm like, Dad, what's that noise? It's my phone. I guess an alarm. What's the alarm for? Like he's got it in another room, but he knows what the alarm is for because he knows at this time during the day, he's got an appointment to go, my mother, he used to have to feed her at a certain time every day, right? He knew that. And then of course, he's got grandkids. He's got appointment times for them, for them to go to their doctor's appointment, speech therapy, all that stuff. So everything's on a timer. So again, until it becomes natural, until it gets to a point to where you got under control, you're able to do these things naturally, like clockwork. You don't even have to think about them. You already know I got this appointment. I got this thing going on with the kids. I still got my business. I still got my calls every night. I got my Zooms. I got the follow-ups. Until that becomes natural, maybe it's the alarm system that works for you. Maybe it's the alerts on your phone that says, hey, listen, you only got 30 minutes before your next appointment. Boom. So now you got 30-minute span. Hey, let me work that time. And see, the thing about being an entrepreneur, guys, it's hard to shut it down because we're still living life. Now, if you were in a brick and mortar, meaning a retail location, it's different because you're stuck there all day. You know what it is. I mean, there are customers from 9 to 5 or whenever the store closes or retail location closes. We know what it is. But when you're a home-based business owner, there's really no set time because you're operating your life around your business. Does that make sense, guys? Am I helping anybody with
It's called Aid to Faint.
Exactly. So again, I don't know how long, it's kind of like dating, trying to meet people and go out with people. It's like they're used to these guys who like to go 9 to 5 and go back home and get on the grill and all that. But no, my dreams don't call for me to do the grill thing. My dream says, hey, listen, if you got a job, work 9 to 5, work full-time your job, part-time your fortune. My job, my dream says work 9 to 5 at the job, right? My dream says from 5 to 9, I'm working my business. Y'all getting this? So again, guys, understand that we just have to learn how to navigate through all the things that we have going on in our lives. And again, put it down in order. Stop operating in Kentucky windage. Stop operating by how do they say it again? What's the other part? The other one they say by the seat of your pants. So is that how it goes? Right.
So by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. So the whole thing is, guys, start planning out your day so that way you know what time you have. That's why so many people feel stuck. That's why so many people feel like they don't have enough time in the day because they're just running and going with everything instead of just saying, okay, I know what I have. I know when I can work. Right. And to go back to the question Ali was going over about, spending time or starting, getting rid of or shaving down some of the things that you can get rid of. We all need to do that, right? Sometimes we got to do, like I always say, right? Get a checkup from the neck up, right? We got to say, okay, boom, this business ain't doing it. Like there's nothing popping there. I ain't getting on calls anymore. So why am I even holding it up like, oh, I got to worry about this company over here, right? I can go ahead and get rid of that, right? Or I'm not really so focused into certain things anymore. You can kind of, if you don't feel a certain way about it, like what I'm doing right now, man, believe me, if I wasn't here right now, I'll be in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be knee deep, all the way neck deep doing it because I love what I'm doing. I love working with people. I love helping people, right? And so again, it's about finding that passion too as well. What are you passionate about? What drives you? What do you wake up in the morning? The first thing you're thinking about outside of your family? What is it? That's when you start deciding what's important. Like what gives you joy? What makes you feel good? We talk about every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. You know, we get excited about these Zooms right here because again, we have an opportunity to get on and share from our experiences. You know, we get to talk to people who went through something, been through something, and graduated and went on to bigger and better things. We love being here. And so again, what are you passionate about? What makes you feel good at the end of the day? That's what it's all about. You
That
find
felt
that.
like a motivational moment, by the way.
I mixed it all in.
I was gonna say I didn't want to stop him. I'm like, you keep going, man. You're making me like want to jump already.
But that's the thing, guys. Ali just said it right now. You gotta be willing to jump. Too many of us are looking at all the things we have going on and it's stagnating us. You got all this going on over here and you're sitting still. So the whole thing is, guys, you gotta be willing to jump with something. So some of y'all got opportunities, whatever it is. If you got a lot of opportunities right now, find the one that you're excited about.
Yeah.
Find the one that, again, if you got, monthly auto ships, people paying 4 and 5 auto ships a month. Why? Find the one that's working. Find the one you're passionate about. Find the one you're plugging into.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to get on 4 or 5 different Zooms and you're really not even excited about that. You're just there because you feel obligated or what. Let it go. Find the one you're passionate about and run with that. Jump.
Okay.
And don't be worried about who says what. Well, why you leaving? What's wrong? All this stuff, right? Worrying about what other people are going to think. Find your happiness and find the thing that's going to make you go to that point in that place that you want to go to. So again, find that known point in your life, and then you put a beeline right to it. Right to it.
I'll tell you what, Tokoyo, you know what? It's interesting. Everything that you're bringing to light, by the way, is fascinating. I showed you guys how my setup is. I don't have my high top table. I don't have my shelves. I don't have all the things that I need to have for me to do what I need to do, right? And you saw how I have. So this microphone, Debbie told me, you need to film this and document because some people, they think everything is state of art and perfect. So because I literally have boxes and everything everywhere. So this microphone is held on a bar stool's like bottom and squeezed in just so what you're seeing right behind me, I hung up a green screen until I paint the actual wall green the way it's supposed to be. I say that to you, Tokoyo said, just jump, do and jump, do and jump, do and jump. Some people are either not willing or they're scared. Here's my recommendation. Reach out to one of us within I Am Dreamable. And if you can't jump, we'll push you. Literally. Yes. I mean, heck, that's what I did with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you want to share some of the things that you weren't uncomfortable with and you ended up doing on an ongoing basis? I would love for you to share with everybody.
Let's see. Where do I start? Everything. It was everything. Everything. Literally. From a Zoom to... I don't even know. Starting to write a book. He asked me to write one sentence. I came out with a paragraph. What else? I'm blank right now. Everything, literally everything. I would just say yes. Even the interview a couple weeks ago, Ali surprised me. I mean, he told me it was coming up, but he didn't tell me it was that day. I asked him today, and I mean, I just said, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
And you killed it.
Yeah, absolutely,
man. And you know what? And that's what's inspiring. So let me tell y'all this. Watch this. For those out there who are stagnant in their businesses, or they think it's not going anywhere, and you keep hearing about other people's success, sometimes it's okay to borrow others' success to grow your business. So you say, I don't really have nothing going on. I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. Tell other people's story. Like, y'all hear this? Like, every week we get a chance to brag on Elizabeth. Every week we get a chance to brag on her. You know what that's doing for her?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all getting this?
For
So
our
again, we're able to feed in her and pour into her what she's capable of doing. We already knew it. But sometimes you have to borrow other people's belief in order to have your own, until you have your own, right? So again, that's why it's important to hear these stories, to regurgitate these stories to other people. It's not about how many you sold today. Tell the other person's story. Who sold the soap or lotion for the day, right? Tell the single mom story of XYZ person. This is the success story that all the old heads in network marketing, all the people who've come way before us and made the millions of dollars at the top position, you don't even see them anymore at events because they're so much done. They're so done, right? Solid in their income, because all they did was they used other people's story to grow their business. It's important, guys. So again, if you're stagnant in your business right now and you're not seeing growth, start telling stories, right? Yeah. Start pointing to someone else, even if they're not on your team. It doesn't matter. It's the story. They don't know who these people are, right? Yeah. But it's the stories that sell, guys. So again, use that to grow your business right now. If you want to grow, have a massive growth in your business right now, start telling stories.
Yep. Stories is the connector that we all have, right?
Without
and
a
we
doubt.
can't be wrong telling our stories. You cannot be wrong telling your story or even sharing someone else's. If you guys don't mind, if I would just back up just a little bit to Lily's original, statement and question, which was, that she just, every time she's about ready to do something for her business, something comes up. Of course, that I am a huge proponent and train on, using your calendar. And I also have tones on my phone for everything. I can identify the tone. I know which platform it's coming from, right? But sometimes as an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning, we also got to take an honest step back. And we got to look at the time that we do have available to work on our business. Are we actually working on our business? Or are we just sitting there thinking we're working on our business, right? Because the truth is, and I missed who said it before, but they work their business in 15-minute increments. I do that as well, because I can go all in for 15 minutes if I'm sitting in the car waiting for my husband to come out of the store or whatever it is, right? So we have to get out of this thought process of 9 to 5 punching a clock, because as entrepreneurs, our schedule can be at any time of the day or week. We can fit it in between those other life things, which Ali knows how I feel. For me, it's my faith, my family, and then business, right? And so I'm not going to X my family out or off. I'm going to find those 15-minute increments in between and around my family. And then what goes with that is what Ali was mentioning about when I said he needs to show what his office looks like right now, is we all think, okay, my husband's from the South, fixing to get ready, right? We got to get everything lined up and in perfect order before we start. No, that's what Takoya was saying, just jump. But what we have to change as entrepreneurs is that 9 to 5 mentality, because it doesn't need to be that. We don't need to be sitting at our desk for 8 hours. I don't want to sit at my desk for 8 hours, right? You don't even have to do an hour. If your attention span or your situation is 5, 10, 15 minutes, then you utilize those and you still track them and get them worked in, right? Just work your business around and with your life. So thanks for that. You're muted, Ali.
I was wondering. So you mean if I just scroll, if I scroll on social media, that doesn't count as working?
It doesn't.
I'm watching TikTok videos. It doesn't count as working?
It doesn't.
That removes 5.5 hours out of my day.
Hey, you know what's so cool though, as well? Because obviously, man, there's people already experiencing success within this community, like Molly here. already giving, Ali the praises and, for what he's done in her business. Then we look at Elizabeth. We've got countless stories already being built here within the community. I suggest, I don't know if we can, have it set up. Oh, I know we can, because I know you'll make it happen. But we definitely need to have some more testimonies on the website of people who are part of the community who are experiencing success. So here's what I'm going to suggest for anyone who's listening, watching, whether you watch today or tomorrow, sometime this week. If you had success working with any of the coaches or just being a part of the program, listening to what we're talking about, had any success that was contributed to something you heard, experienced, or because you're getting worked with by someone, a part of the community, guys, if you could do us a favor, if you could send a message within the group to our messenger and tell that story, because we'll love to highlight you on some of our upcoming shows, so that we can show that people are really having success here. It's just not 4 guys, 2 guys and 2 women having a conversation on a weekly basis and nothing's happening. Because some people can look at the numbers of how many people are viewing right now, and they can get mistaken of how much we're actually growing, how many people are actually having success. I can look at the screen right now. I see 6 people viewing right now all over the world. Just 6, right? 6 people viewing all over the world. But there's so many more being affected by something that we're saying and doing that are plugging in on a weekly basis. Either, again, may not be able to get on live. Why? Because they work, because they have family situations. Later that day, that evening, they're watching and they're learning something that changes their lives. So again, guys, I'm asking you, if you've watched this show or you're getting coached and trained and mentored by anyone on this show, I want you to go ahead and send a message to the I Am Messenger, right, in the Facebook group. Is that right, Ali?
We can.
Yeah, send it to the messenger. And of course, just tell how this business has helped you and what type of growth or experience you've gotten from it because of it. Okay. And we'll love to highlight you within the group. And then, of course, maybe we can take 4 or 5 people and highlight you on a live show.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Love it. Love that.
Without a doubt. And Mr. Carlton, you're gonna have to talk to the boss upstairs. Well, she's upstairs with you. Suggestion: you gotta just 1 floor up, the first door to the right. You gotta talk to her.
I've already talked to her. Is it good? Smoke signals.
Yes. But hey, why don't we do this?
It takes a little bit, right? Like Tokoyo said, guys. I'm always got books reading. Like I'm Ali, and it's just you can read the whole book. But there might be just one line that is the trigger and the change maker. And you just don't know.
Right. This is my good friend Houghton Bugs, right? One of the #1 income earners in the world, period, in home-based business, period. Yep. He used to say, man, he would buy whole books. And he would buy the book not because he wanted to read the book, but he would buy the book just to find the one chapter that he needed to read that was going to help his business. So again, he may not have read the whole book because maybe he felt like he felt good in some of those areas. It was the one thing that he needed at this moment to enhance his business. And so she's right when she says that. I mean, it does, you know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes you read a whole book and you feel like it's just kind of like, you've heard that thing and you receive that, you're doing that, but it's that one thing, that one paragraph, like she said, that one chapter, like, man, if I implement this one thing. So I'm excited, guys. 6:55 here. I think we got like 5 more minutes. I know we want to give, do we want to do segments or we did?
You got to roll right through your segment, brother.
Yeah, everything I do is inspirational. So
you brought a whole lot.
Tokoyo
Carlton is a segment. Like he's a walking segment. He could be on a drive through and somebody says, can I help you? He's going to be like, actually, can I help you? Because today I'm here to spend my money on you because I believe in you and I believe in the work that you do. Why don't you make me that coffee in the best, amazing, incredible way? Take care. Stay. I don't know how you say it. That was great. How you usually that's a tagline no one can ever take away from you.
Over the top. Take care. Take charge, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take charge. Well, I actually I think our honorary like newly addition, Elizabeth Cousins, definitely would love
Oh, man, we're
to
in the
hear some
Philippines.
words from you. Yeah, I definitely want to hear from you, just because, I was speaking to Christoph earlier, Christoph Wayman, and and that's the gentleman who hosts the competition that she took part of, and he was talking about Elizabeth. He was like, if she can just take the things that she does off stage and put them on stage, she'll be a powerhouse. Excuse me. So, Elizabeth, talk to us about your journey of letting certain things go and how you embraced the nuances that you're experiencing right now.
Well, honestly, how I do it, I just know that God is in control. However, I always say this: however much down you are, you're gonna get that much more up. So people who may feel really down, like I heard Ali, I saw in his story the other day, people were talking about, or he got a text from a guy saying how lucky he was, but it's actually all the work that you put in. You know how many stuff he's been through, you know how many stuff I've been through, and I'm sure all of you've been through, the audience as well. Like, it's gonna come back to you. So I don't worry about like how much money I invested in stuff or time, resources, because I know it's gonna come back to me, and I see it coming around full circle to me. There was a company I was involved with a couple months ago, and because of that, I had to pivot. It didn't feel good in the moment, but it all worked out for my good. So I'm just grateful and thankful for that. So that's how I keep my sanity. Does that answer the question?
Hey, real quick. She froze. Okay, there you go. All right, so real quick, I heard her say luck, and it brung up, Debbie, I got to go old school.
Yeah.
It brung up luck, labor under correct knowledge.
Yep.
That's what it is, Ali. Is labor under correct knowledge. That's why you're so lucky.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I tell everybody. I hope you are as lucky as I am, and you have gone through as many things that I have gone through that have built my character. Not the bad stuff. I just want enough of bad for you, because the 8th law of the universal laws is the law of relativity, which states that you are to go through problems in order to operate at a high frequency. The moment you fix that problem, you become so much better. You see so much clearer. You are better. So for those of you who ever say he is so lucky, I pray to God for you to receive, I'd say, about 20% of all the lucky things that I had happen through my last 15 years to get where I am right now. And you two will be as lucky. But hey, listen, we had an amazing show today. I feel like it was full. Excuse me. And at the top of the hour, not 7, but 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, meaning in 61 minutes from now, we are going to be bringing the heat for our community. And I personally will be taking charge tonight and covering a fast recap on all things universal laws, because the series, if it hasn't dropped already, I know the team was editing it as early as an hour ago. If it hasn't dropped, it will be dropping definitely tonight, and you get the full expansion of all the 12 universal laws. And you get to have a little bit of the recipe that has helped us to get to where we are. So if you're not part of the community, go to iam.media, hit that button, enroll. It's $1.50 an average per day. And you too will have the ability to experience these breakthroughs that everybody has experienced. So I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, tell them peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
out.